Museum of Modern Art, visiting Cindy Sherman's Untitled number 228.
Untitled number 228 is actually a photograph taken in the 1990s. Contemporary artist Cindy Sherman photographs herself as different characters with the use of hair, makeup, and costume.
She designs herself to represent popular images or pay homage to the history of art. She recreates these images for the media rather than the patron or consumers.
Sherman's piece is about 7 feet tall, emphasizing its significance through particular details. Cindy Sherman is specifically known for her photography. She enacts female cliches of pop culture during the 20th century.
Exactly. She imitates the stereotype women were viewed as in society. She loves to dress up as different characters and experiment with makeup and costumes. And although she dressed up as different characters, when she looked back at them, she did not view her photographs as portraits. She always leaves her artwork entitled open for exposition.
Sherman says she is trying to make other people recognize something of themselves rather than of herself. Most of her artwork is based on stereotypes during the history of art in different media.
Although many pieces of her art seem to convey the message of feminism unintentionally, she is not considered a feminist artist in particular. She is rather diminishing the stereotype of women during the history of art and standards put on women today, hoping that her work is acknowledged as feminist in nature.
The scene depicts the biblical heroine Judith slaying Holofernes.
Judith was a devout widow that saved the Israelites from an Assyrian general, Holofernes.
She befriends the general, and one night while he was in his tent drunk, she takes advantage of his drunken state and seduces him to later decapitate him.
In the Untitled 228, it is idealized in Renaissance proportions with realism conveyed in her face with Judith. It holds organic shapes and curved lines like in Greek clothing. Sherman herself is standing with her head tilted and feet in a V-shaped position, both common in Renaissance artwork. The rich, saturated colors are spread throughout the portrait. The gold curtains behind her signify some Byzantine aspects to her work. She wears a red robe which holds symbolism to that of blood and sexuality, both subjects that relate to this portrait.
When people visit this museum, people are puzzled because it seems out of place in the modern museum since it is a recreation of an older piece.
This piece is also similar to Cellini's Perseus with the head of Medusa, but in Sherman's piece, she is holding the head which gives the woman the higher power over the man. Judith is also resulted more dominant where the man is not needed to conserve her power, a feminist idea.
The idea she had while creating different pieces was self-invention. She wanted to create something completely new and different.
Yes, and what her artwork does is epitomize our own insecurities we have within us, whether we are aware of them or not, as we are interpreting her artwork. Her artwork expresses the idea that in life we always have to entertain, we live to perform.
Another artwork that connects to Untitled number 228 is The Birth of Venus. The Birth of Venus is painted in tempera on canvas. It's located in the Galleria degli Uffizi, and it is 172.5 by 278.5 centimeters.
This is a very popular painting in the Western art. The painting depicted Venus, the goddess of love, as she is naked for the ideal concept of her importance, as it is not meant to be Christianized.
During this time period, you would never see a nude other than Adam and Eve, so this was very surprising and scandalous for the time period. This painting is based on an ancient Roman sculpture.
The Medicis paid for this painting. It was thought to be made for the Medici court.
The painting illustrates Venus being born of the sea and is pushed in by the wind, which are Zephyrus and are in impossible and intertwined position. Venus stands on a seashell as she is about to receive clothes by her assistant on shore.
In the painting, she has not arrived to the shore, where we can still see her naked but somewhat modest body, in which she covers her breast and her private parts in general. She doesn't exactly pose in contrapposto, but she seems to be flexible since she does have a kind of impossible pose.
Botticelli's painting is not realistic or naturalistic due to the weightless figure. He is looking back at older Greek paintings which were his inspiration. Most of Botticelli's figures are always pushed forward.
Sherman's Untitled 228 has similarities like the head tilt and V-shaped feet. These were a Renaissance concept. The swollen stomach suggested beauty as well. They have nearly the same position and they both portray female heroines. These figures are sensual in which Venus is gracefully naked and Judith uses her sexuality to kill Holofernes.
Both images are created in a large scale, but they also have differences like Sherman's Untitled 228. The woman wears funky makeup, and in Botticelli's Birth of Venus, she is completely naked.
They also have different color schemes. Sherman's piece is dark and saturated, and Botticelli's painting is light and uses pastel colors. Sherman is recreating a scene, whereas Botticelli is creating a heroic painting. Both female figures evoke a sense of power and authority.